3, 2, 1. We got Pichon Garcia in the house. Pitch, how is everything there? Thank you so much for doing this, man.
Everything's okay. Well, cooked up here in the house. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
naman.
So,
Nowhere to go.
no, we're all here in the house. That's why we have
Yeah.
a lot of time to share stories. He's always been on top of my list, and as I have one of my coaches, one of my more steady coaches since I started training, stopped, and went back to training. So now I want everyone, especially whoever's gonna watch this and future students, to know like, professor, like your martial arts story, like how everything began.
Well, I think it happened during the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
during the early 80s. Because back in those days, there were a lot of shows on TV.
Uh-huh.
I used to watch Kung Fu. You know that in kay David
Mm.
Carradine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yan. I used to watch
David
that.
Carradine.
Carradine. Oh yeah. And then Shaolin movies.
Yeah.
Yan, I used to watch a lot of Kung Fu movies. They had the Shaolin movies. They had the Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Mm-hmm.
every Sunday they had that in Channel 9,
Oh, yung mga
Chinese
Sunday
Kung
morning. Yung Chinese,
Chinese
tama?
Kung Fu
Ah.
Theater. Oh, yeah. So I always wanted to be able to do that. I love the flips. I used to
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, I want to do that. I want to jump. So that's how it started. So I always tried to replicate that when I was a kid, trying to jump everywhere, trying to do all these stunts.
Mm-hmm.
So then my dad tried to enter me in karate when I
Mm-hmm.
was young. Unfortunately, it wasn't too successful, especially kasi when we had to do the forms, I
Yeah.
really found it boring.
Yeah.
I really found it
Yung
boring.
kata, the kata.
The katas, yes. So the katas were really boring for me, the forms, the katas. It was really boring. So I couldn't, the only time I enjoyed something, so we tried to use the pads, but because in karate back in those days, the main aspect was learning the katas, the forms. I didn't like it. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to go naman to my cousin's house, used to spend weekends with them. And then they used to bring in a boxing instructor every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So every Sunday, they had formal boxing training. I was the young one. Ako yung saling pusa.
Salim.
So I used to do boxing there. And then, actually, believe it or not, since I like the flips, they actually enrolled me in gymnastics.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I did gymnastics for a number of years. I actually was a national level gymnast for quite some time, and uh, on several times I tried qualifying for the junior national team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, then when I got to high school, it all changed, and that's when uh, my martial arts journey really began.
Uh-huh.
This a friend of mine actually took me to Sarian.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So back in those days, kasi well, until now, Sariano is it's not an open school where you can just walk in. So actually, you had to be invited by someone who trains there, and of course,
Yep.
once you're invited, they also have to also
Yes, that is true.
accept you there. So there's like there's a form of initiation that you do for you to enter,
Yep.
and then because that's a really crazy initiation.
Uh.
So it's a funny one. It dealt with it deals with a with an ashtray and a dick.
Yeah.
So you have to do something. You have to then close your eyes, and by the time you open your eyes, it's right there in front of you. Then they all laugh. It's like a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I got exposed to the two main schools in the south.
Mm-hmm.
I joined Sarian, but I
Mm-hmm.
also had friends that were in Bakbakan.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, also a friend of mine also took me to Bakbakan, which they actually also have a similar system.
Yeah.
So it's not also na it's also like you have to be invited in.
Yes.
So I had several friends also that were in Bakbakan.
And then
Yeah.
from there,
But,
ano na, so it was Sarian, and then Bakbakan. For those who don't know, Bakbakan is Suntukoran Bakbakan. It's a fighting
yeah,
system by the Ricketts brothers.
the Ricketts
So
brothers, yes.
yes, the Ricketts
So I
brothers
was
and
also exposed to that. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then
At my
From
childhood friends.
then from there, 'di ba, no? Ang alam ko rin nagkapoeira ka eh.
Yes, but that was later on na. So
Later on na.
I
Okay.
later on na. So I was of course I learned jiu-jitsu from Alvin.
Mhm.
But the stories with Alvin was I met Alvin in high school.
Mhm.
So but we weren't very close. It was more of like an acquaintance.
Mhm.
The ones who were I knew, of course, I also eventually knew Alvin because, of course, when I joined Sarian,
Mhm.
Alvin was one of the head
Yeah.
instructors there,
Yeah.
along with the Yaptin Shai brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, so we had we call that our friends kasi. A friend, my high school classmate and friend, took me there
Mhm.
to Sarian. I enjoyed the we call that the training there, and later on I got even closer to sila the Yaptin Shai brothers. I was
Mm.
very close to them. There we started having training at their house.
Mhm. And then from there,
So
what was
you're
the
using
shift?
pads.
Yeah, then the
Then we
shift
had quick
to
sparring.
jiu-jitsu.
What happened was during one of our sparring sessions, Joel comes in, Joel,
Mhm.
and then goes, "Tara, let's
Joel being
spar."
Joel, yeah.
Well, yeah. Come on, let's spar. So when we sparred, he started all of a sudden started taking us down,
Uh-huh.
and then he started getting us all these weird locks. Like, what
Okay.
are you doing?
Mhm.
So he's choking us out, and
Uh,
he getting us an armbar. So where did you get that? Oh, it's Alvin. Why? Where did Alvin learn that? Oh, he just came from the States. He learned
okay.
from Hoist Gracie. Hoist
Mhm.
Gracie. Who's Hoist Gracie? Oh, this is the Gracie family. They're known in Brazil for that. And one time, he brought that time wala pang UFC.
Mm.
The tape that he brought was a VHS tape of Gracie in action.
Grease in action,
In
okay.
action, yes.
Classic.
Kasi
Craig Crew. Si Craig Crew ba to?
no. It's the kasi there are two edits of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu eh. There are two stories of Gracie in action. But
Okay.
there is an initial edit of that, and then there's a second edit. Because in the second edit they added more newer fights of voice. Before it's
Mhm.
more of the fights in Brazil. Eh.
Okay. Ito ba
So
yung may
we started
Gracie
seeing
challenges? Or this the one with the...
yes,
Yes, okay.
yes, but the first edit was mostly fights in Brazil,
Mhm.
the ring fights in Brazil.
Okay.
So I mean, we saw all the fights and wow, galing.
Uh-huh.
So Alvin's learning this, yeah. Okay, so at that time I wanted to learn more of the jiu-jitsu. I was learning some from what Joel and Mark was teaching me, because of course
Uh-huh.
Joel would teach his brother Mark, and then
Mhm.
Mark would also teach me when we spar or when we were
Yeah.
together. So I wanted to learn more. Sabi ko, how do I call that? How do I go to Alvin? I go, oh, si Miko. Miko started training with Alvin. Why don't you
Mhm.
ask Miko to do call this? So Alvin naman knows, yeah, but nangyari naman just to show up in
To
his
show up.
house. And then I go, oh, sali ako. And syempre, I know naman how the structure was before.
Yes.
Because you just don't go there and go, I want to train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So syempre, then I spoke to Nico. Then Nico, just come up here. We'll meet up here today. Let's say tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I'll introduce. We'll train with Alvin. So I got to train with Alvin also in Beata before.
Yeah.
The garage there. We did it there, and then later on, we started training in his house.
Mhm.
So back in those days also, it's also ganun din. It's parang balls to the walls training before. Kasi before before you start formal classes, you
Mhm.
have what you call the welcome spar.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so technically, you have to spar someone from. I mean, I will choose a guy,
Yeah, yeah.
and you spar with him,
Yep.
and of course, you'll see of course, bahala if you do well or you know what
Uh-huh.
I mean.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty good fight. I mean, I tried to put a good fight as much as I could. In the
Uh-huh.
end, the guy ended up mounting me and then putting me in
Uh-huh.
an armbar. So
Uh-huh.
okay. So kasi usually sometimes those type of things will make or break you kasi.
Yes.
So sometimes some of the guys, wow, they got so demoralized. The next time they won't show up anymore. But
Mm.
me, even though I really tried to fight. I find my best to get out of that arm bar. Even though he popped my arm several times, I didn't
Mhm.
give up.
Yep.
But then the next day, I still showed up again, and I really wanted to learn.
Yeah.
So I saw how how effective it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there, and usual, uh, yeah, what's nice kasi was Alvin incorporated the Sarian training,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course the ground aspect, which is the Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the difference between Alvin's version of Sarian, was he had the ground. I mean, we still did the pad training. What's nice kasi
Yeah.
with Sarian was there because it's really designed for the street. So
Yes.
always situational for multiple opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we drilled was multiple opponents, and each pad was always positioned a certain way to simulate, being
Yeah.
surrounded surrounded, kasi Sarian was uh, parang get in, get out.
Yeah.
It's not like
You
you stay
stay
there and
there,
fight
you
all of
beat them
them.
up. No, no. Oh,
No,
it
no, no. It's like
was
tatak,
get
tatak,
in, get
survive,
out.
get out,
Yep.
yeah, get out, yeah. So ganun siya. And then the end of every you end up to the ground, then we incorporated the jiu-jitsu techniques.
Mm-hmm. And then
So
from
that's
there,
how Alvin.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go.
That's how it started. I mean, we started learning jiu-jitsu techniques, and those times, I said there was no gi. We
Mm.
weren't using the gi yet, so we were just using, the usual regular clothes, shirt, jogging pants,
Mm-hmm.
and then so the first part was the Sarian aspect, learning the mitts, learning the strikes,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second part was the jiu-jitsu techniques, the ground
Mm-hmm.
techniques,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on we'd have either jiu-jitsu training, I mean the grappling,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have the end was the full spar.
Yeah.
We don't have a full spar.
Yep.
But of course, back in those days, we didn't have open gloves fights, boxing gloves.
Yes.
So striking, I get to the ground, then try to apply jiu-jitsu. So there was, it was pretty good. It was pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
You get beaten up after, and then it was fun kasi after that. Of course, after training hard, hala, inuman na. Inuman na.
Inuman na.
Inuman na. It's always like that when you were back in the day.
And this is
So it's like that.
this is a really good structure. I mean, this is a really good. It has become like a predominant theme when it comes to majority of the people that I had this conversation with when it comes to the entire structure of, because this became the precursor or the precedent to how DefTac trainings are being conducted right now, diba? It's ano eh,
Yeah.
it's long hours.
Actually, parang the guys that have it easy. Yeah.
It was
Kasi also before it was I
yeah,
mean,
it was long.
sometimes we start at tagal, 2 o'clock, and then we'd be done at about 6, sometimes even 7. So we just
Exactly.
go home.
Oh.
No, sometimes we just go home, take a bath, and then, ala, sige, gimmick na, let's meet up again, let's go out. Yeah. So ganun yun. And then before it was Sarian, and later on Sixto came in.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the combination of both jiu-jitsu, the Sarian training,
The striking, the grappling,
the striking, the grappling, and then
and
we had sticks.
yeah.
We had sticks. And we even have we had sparring puffer sticks.
Yep.
And at that time, the system that we were exposed to was the Pikiti.
Mm-hmm. Kasi yeah, Alvin and Sixto were doing that. They were doing Pikiti
Yeah.
and they were doing Illustrissimo. And then at the
Illustrissimo.
same time, they were studying other, ano pa. And on top of this, they were doing their
Yeah.
best to study other weapons
Other
training and stick
systems.
fighting arts.
But if Alvin was the whiz in like the Sarian and Jiu-Jitsu,
Mm-hmm.
parang Sixto was the wizard with the sticks.
Yes.
All the fundamentals, all the theories, he got it all. Parang
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you, so you have friends from this one. Oh yeah, they use this style. Then he showed, what I mean, the like say the form. This is why it's like this. This is why it's like that. Well, Pikiti is this way. So he showed the differences, movements, and why he, let's say, chose this system a bit more, why he made us focus on this system compared to the other
Mm-hmm.
system.
That is true. Diba? And then
It was
from
crazy pa
there,
before.
uh-huh.
It was crazy pa before kasi we had a tire and we had to do
Mm.
300 strikes on the tire, 3 to
Ah.
500 strikes on the tire.
Ayan, pinagawa
Again,
niya rin sa
so it's
amin yan
always
dati.
very, and we always go home beat up already, beat up sore joints, beat up bodies, and sore hands.
Yes. He won't stop until mekali. I mean, the training
Yeah,
will not end hanggat hindi wasak yung kamay mo, di ba? It's like you have to
yeah.
develop like a second layer of skin in order to,
Skin.
di ba? I mean,
It was
they were really good sessions, but it was more of a Spartan like training, eh.
yeah. And then of course we had a lot of guys that would come in. We had a lot of guys who come in to train with us. Actually, I wasn't one of the first. I was already Siguro was one of the second batch guys already that were trained. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
when people already started training, there was already another group of guys,
Mm-hmm.
and those guys were tough. When I was there, I was everybody's bitch.
Oh.
I started as everybody's bitch. Everybody would beat the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm. And then from
So yeah,
no, exactly. Now this is really good because now I mean everything is getting clearer now that first it was very exclusive, and then yun nga, di ba, you have to be invited, and then only it was like the instructors of today were already teaching back then, but at the same time they were still learning.
yes,
This is
yes,
so what is happening now is a result of years and years of developing, years and years of trial and error from the instructor's experiences. So like for example, when you got in and you started learning sarian, jiu-jitsu, and then you got your sticks and weapons training, um, more often than not with the training you also had to live your own life. So
yeah.
how was dealing with the challenges, and because I think personally the main challenge back then was limited information, and then how
Well,
were
back in
you
the
going to
day, the
sustain
the the main killer I think that killed a lot of the students
mm.
in for training and showing up was the girlfriend.
Totoo
I'll tell
yan.
you, totoo yun. Because we were
Totoo.
a lot. At one point, we were like over 20 plus
Mhm.
guys. At one point there in Alvin's house. When we started in Alvin's house, it was full. We
Mhm.
were a lot. But later on, little by little, people started not showing up.
Uh-huh.
And when we see them around, oh, bakit? Eh, girlfriend ko ayaw na
Eh,
ako
I
ganun
heard.
eh. Ayaw na mag-training eh. And it always like that. It was always the girlfriend that kept everybody from showing up.
Okay. And then
At that time, wala akong girlfriend.
yeah.
Wala. Girls lang, pero no girlfriend.
Oo, 'di ba? Kasi ano 'yun eh, so at least okay, so far as I can remember, it was like limited information, limited training partners, limited training time. Kaya rin siguro the amount of training time was severely maximized. Like you're not
Yeah.
the first person to say that training was more than for 4 hours. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Kaya rin siguro culturally in our team, it's okay to train beyond 4 hours. Kasi
4 hours,
kahit naman
yes.
tayo, tambay gym tayo eh. It was fun.
Yeah.
And it was totally
Before,
fine.
we at least train at least 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have, I think it was Monday. I'm not sure if it was Tuesday, Thursday, then Saturday training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, from what I remember, the Monday and the Wednesday were mostly Sarian and Jiu-Jitsu
Uh-huh.
at the
Okay.
time, and then the Saturdays was where we had the sticks because the six
Okay.
would be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Aldo would show us also, but
Yeah.
Sixto and Baste would be there to show us the weapons
Ano
training
rin
on
pala.
Saturdays.
It was a good combination of so many arts
Station
din pala. Kasi
arts. Yeah.
my kahit naman ako like I was thinking I'm like okay, how were you guys able to sustain the momentum, kumbaga? Kasi there will probably be a time wherein it's either you're too tired or you were bored or para you just kept doing things over and over again, that you would look for something new or something different. But now, 'di ba, with what you just said, nakikita ko na yung structure ngayon that it
Yeah,
wasn't just that, 'di ba? There were at least three
yeah.
separate things.
But what's trying to say is Sarian was always very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sarian has different scenarios. Eh.
Yeah.
Let's say sometimes we drill three guys.
Uh-huh.
How to deal with three guys,
Yeah.
4 guys, 6 guys surrounded different position. One guy to your left, one guy to your right, one guy in front.
Yeah.
So let's say then also certain situations where there were situations na try to avoid the person from getting to your back.
Mm-hmm.
So parang we have situations like that na avoid the person. So moving, defense, moving then and then let's say side kick or then the end, let's say a jiu-jitsu technique, let's say like a wrestling or like a takedown, like a slam, or you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. And kasi this is very important kasi now everything becomes a little bit clearer, or actually is becoming clearer in terms of what people really need to do. And then this also shows the importance of scenario-based training, scenario-based training, scenario-based drilling. And clearly, the type of training that DefTac was doing back then is parang it's clearly being popularized now. Diba? Kasi ngayon pa lang, like I do a lot of research and I see a lot of combat-based systems or any self-defense systems. A lot of them are just based on theory. A lot of them is just, sorry, pero plain bullshit.
Yeah.
And then the moment you ask them if they've drilled this work in real life, majority of especially the new ones are just wala. They're just theory. Diba? Now it goes to show that there are a lot of things that the reason behind the effectiveness of the system that our team is promulgating, kumbaga, or promoting, okay? It comes from a place of reality. Diba? It comes from theories to execution to application. I think that's the main takeaway from that. And then at what year, or as far as you can remember, did you start thinking and then you actually did it na, okay, I'm training. I think I should compete. Or what led you to be a competitor?
Well, back in the days, kasi there was no competition locally.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to compete, you had to go abroad.
Yes.
So, kasi back in the day, we were still training exclusively more of based on self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
We were training with street clothes pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then our techniques, let's say it's not like the jiu-jitsu, it's not purely jiu-jitsu in a way.
Mm-hmm.
This, of course, we were practicing heel hooks, different kind of heel hooks. Even in our spars, we incorporate heel hooks in our spars.
Yeah.
So it was really crazy. Sometimes if you didn't tap on time,
putok tuhod mo,
putok ankle mo. So we're all limping home. I even go home, go to school. You know what I mean? Limping, or I'd have a black eye. Because, you know what I mean? I got punched in the face. You know what I mean? So it was like going to Fight Club that time.
Yes. It was Fight Club.
It was Fight Club.
It was Fight Club. No one talks about it. Kahit ako, lasal ako, parang nung sinali ako sa Rian, parang iniisip ko rin, parang Fight Club pala to.
I think we got more formal and more focused in Jiu-Jitsu when Alvin got his blue belt. And then he became the representative of the association, the Philippine Association.
Mm-hmm.
So we started focusing with the gi. So Alvin.
So was this the time that you also started gi training?
What do you mean?
No, when Alvin got his blue belt or no? Kasi Alam ko rin dati
we
sa Rian, puro no-gi. And then, all of a
yeah,
sudden, the shift to
the shift,
training with the
yes.
gi.
When Alvin got the training association, he became the representative of the training association of the Philippines. We shifted now. We started to train more jiu-jitsu. So
Mm-hmm.
we started to train with the gi. And the thing is, we ordered our gis from the US. The funny part before is at least the gis now are nice,
Yes.
very tapered, they fit your body more. But the gis before were very generic, loose,
Mm-hmm.
and thin. So
Okay.
ang laki ng mga gi namin before, mga, like
Parang
maybe,
panjudo halos eh.
oo, pajama. That's why they used to call it pajamas. And they go, why
Mm-hmm.
are you pajamas? It was really loose. So yeah, we started training. We started training with the gi.
Uh-huh.
So we started focusing more really on the jiu-jitsu techniques.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yun. So Alvin would show us the techniques he learned from the States.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we do first, at that time we had no internet.
Mm.
We had no internet. So it's not like before na, what are the other things you can do from the armbar? What are the other, you know what I mean? So what we do before was, at the time wala pa nga masyadong wala pa nga grappling magazine then.
Yes.
The magazines before, they were Black Belt,
Black Belt magazine.
Sometimes they feature a third technique or two, and then what we do is we try to, well, what I would do before when I got these things, I try to see how I can mix it up with the techniques that I call this.
That you already know.
That I learned, that I know, and I knew. Because before, of course, Alvin was the only guy that was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have them on a black belt before that could tell you, oh, that technique works.
Mm-hmm.
I think that technique's advanced. So what we did was I tried to make it fit. So little by little, I had to learn the fundamentals, you know what I mean, or the theories behind it. As I got along, then I understood more of the technique. What the funny thing is before was, I kept asking Alvin this question. One time, Alvin gave me this book to borrow. It was the Jean Labelle Encyclopedia for Submissions.
Okay.
So I'm looking through it, looking all these weird submissions, see how I can mix it to the game.
Yeah.
Kasi sometimes, like I said, about when I first started, I was losing to everybody. Everybody was always beating me. So I wanted to find a way to become better.
Yep.
So what I do was I either go early in training, before training, and ask Alvin questions, or after everybody left, I would ask Alvin. How do I deal with this? How do I counter that?
Mm-hmm.
And then what I would do sometimes was, okay, here, you borrow this. Let's see if you can, you know what I mean? Let's see if this will help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I try it, and then I try to see how I can apply it during our spars.
Mm-hmm.
When I spar with, there were a lot of crazy guys in training before. I mean, that time, Nico, I don't know if you ever heard of Eric Santos.
No, hindi ko siya naabutan.
Wow, that guy was a monster. Kasi what was nice with Alvin's training kasi, because Alvin just didn't look for the technical guys. Alvin also wanted guys with killer instinct.
Yes.
So sometimes like the killer instinct was very important there. Kasi sometimes you can be very technical, but once you get hit, pagka-technical nawawala eh. You panic eh.
Yeah.
The killer instinct is like, you know what I mean? You get hit. Okay lang, sige. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. You know what I mean? So gano'n siya eh. We had a lot of, like at the time also, Carlo Blanco was there. So Carlo Blanco was the technical guy.
Mm-hmm.
All the fancy stuff, Carlo would always pick it up really fast. But like, let's say, out of the crazy guys, this guy Eric Santos was the killer in our training pool. Wow, I mean, you hit this guy is gonna kill you. And literally, he was the guy that literally when you say stop, he will not stop.
He will not stop.
He will not stop. When you grab him, he will throw you, and he will still beat the guy out. You know what I mean? So literally, like 3 or 4 guys to literally pull him out. And that's how training was before. So you know what I mean? I had to figure out how to deal with guys like that, and I'd always ask Alvin. So I think that what Alvin liked for me was, I really stay and ask him. And what I do, let's say he'd lend me a magazine, lend a book. Later on, he was sending me VHS tapes, certain techniques, and see, at this point, I think this will help you. I think this will fit you how you play. And that's how we did it. I mean, and then what I did now was I do my own research. I try to find my own magazines, and then I see these moves, and then I start and I use it, and I go, where'd you learn that? Oh, I got it in this magazine. I showed them, here. Oh, I didn't know that. How can you show me that? And I showed it to him.
Here's my next question. Na parang, how were you guys? Kasi in the I'm like, how were you guys able to sustain training with no guidance? And like that was it. It's like it was constant sharing of information, and you weren't withholding anything from each other, and diba? Yun yung, I think that really made a huge difference when it comes to development. Kasi had you just stayed with what you guys just had, yung parang, okay, ito yung binigay, ito yung natutunan sa States, we'll just keep doing this, we won't take we won't do an initiative to do our own research, diba? There won't be progression.
Yeah.
Diba?
Well, it was that's how we learned, and then then later on, I just one day I started little by little, beating the guys in class. I catch them for some reason, but I did. I ended up finishing everybody. And one of the guys that we had this crazy thing where they always had a bet. And kasi at the time I was able to beat everybody except for me. Because before it was like a bragging right. Of course nowadays it's before. I mean, now it's different. Now no one really cares about him. It's really the norm already that you go to train, you get tapped out. It's part of it. You learn. That's how you learn. But back in the day, it was bragging rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all hang out each other. Na ganyan ka. I mean, like, damn it.
Pambawi next training, bawi ito.
Parang something, it is motivation for you.
Yeah.
It's motivation. So yun. So I managed to get by everybody except for Miko. For the longest time, we have, that time kasi also, like, diba, sometimes we do it with Abel, there's no time limit.
Yes, there's no time limit.
Yes, no time limit. So there was also times that, wow, we'd be trying to grab each other and submit each other for over an hour. And I mean, till everybody gets tired. And then sometimes, parang Alvin goes, you guys are not leaving that mat till somebody submits.
Yes.
Yes. And sometimes it got to the point that me and Nico got equally matched. So it was so hard for us to talk to each other. We were there for almost, the longest match I think me and Nico had was almost 3 hours. 3 hours.
Walang break to, walang break.
Walang break. Come on, go at it. Be like wrestling each other. Go. Okay. Sige. After Nico goes, no, tap na lang ako, tap na lang para we can go home now. I heard that.
I heard that.
Continue. So, but at the end of the day, Nico would always tap me in the end. He'd always catch me. So, damn. So, actually, till one day, Nico just, and I guess Nico got a girlfriend, and that's the point. I guess every time he had the girlfriend, it was the doom.
Yeah, it was the doom.
The doom.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end. They start showing once a week. You know what I mean? Twice a week, once a week. Next, they're not showing up anymore. I have a girlfriend. You know naman how it is. They don't know when you see them. So then eventually, so I never had the chance to redeem the last loss I had with Nico. Siguro one time na lang siguro na one time we after a long time he came, then we sparred, and I finally caught him. But he always make that yabang. Every time we see each other out, he always give me the finger and walang di mo natalo. Always like that. So what's nice is though is I think for the longest time he didn't want to let go of that reputation that he was the only guy that that escaped. Yeah. Then no. What's good though is eventually we got over that, and then at least now he's training with us now. He's one of our really good purple belts now.
Yeah. Di ba
Came back, but
he's one of the big guys that's technical. Yun yung napansin ko
technical,
kay
yeah.
oh.
So I mean, it was like that. That's how we were before. I mean, of course it's different how it is now, but before it was a motivation kasi for us.
Mhm.
And I mean, parang none of us really wanted to lose. The same time
That's
as
true.
when we went to training, we always tried to bring out our A game because
Mhm.
it's either he didn't want to lose or he wanted to make up for how I caught him the
The
last time
last
we
time.
trained.
Oh.
Yeah, babawiin ko yan, he caught me here. So this time I'll be prepared.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it was always like that. So parang every time we came to train, that's why we were always intense in our training.
Mhm. And then from there, did you go to the States or did you go to Brazil for your
Um,
first competition?
well,
States
when
ba kayo o
Alvin, what do you call
Brazil?
this? US first.
US.
US first. US. So when Alvin first became head of the association, he got the association. Yeah, and he got his blue belt. We started training. At the time, it was me and Alvin. We went
Mhm.
to the US.
Mm.
So the first competition we went to was in Michigan pa.
Aha.
Detroit, Michigan.
Di ba? Punta na kayo Amerika, tapos punta pa kayo Detroit. Ah.
Oh. At the time kasi we just trained.
Yeah.
Our training before kasi we just, of course, drill techniques, we spar. It's not like before now, like the way it is now. Now it's very structured.
Yes.
Because now we drill situations. We alam mo yun,
Yeah.
we know how to cut our weight properly. We know how, everything's structured now.
Yep.
Before kasi wala. We just trained hard, and we went to the States, and then we weren't familiar with that type. So when we got there, the thing kasi is the sign up, from what I remember, was in LA.
Okay.
And then from LA, we went to Detroit.
Tangina,
So
labo
that
na
time
sign up was in LA and then the tournament
LA,
is in
because we trained, yeah. So we trained in LA. We trained in LA first.
Okay.
We went there, so we were training there, and then of course when we started to fill up the application form for the tournament, is so as it actually even asking Alvin, what week should I enter?
Mm.
Like that. Because at that time we didn't say na, oh, you weigh yourself. Because now we weigh ourselves. Okay, we're good. I think 145 is 154 is a good weight. You're good at
Yeah.
I mean, now that time we didn't know.
Yeah.
So like, what weight should I go? So weigh I step on the weight. So I'm about 142 pounds. See, put it at 150. Sign up at the 150, 155 weight class. So why? So at least just in case when you eat and you gain weight, you won't have a problem.
You don't have a problem.
So sabi ko, sige, I think that's a good idea. So sign up for that, diba? Then yeah, and then we went there. We competed. Alvin was solid because when we were training there already in Torrance with the boys, Alvin was kicking everybody's butt.
Mm-hmm.
And all the big guys, everybody was tapping them out left and right. Unfortunately, they got frustrated because they never had a chance to get back at Alvin. Every time I partner with them, suddenly they go really hard on me. They really try to hurt the crap out of me. I'm like,
it's not my fault.
It's not my fault. Why are you trying to kill me? Then Alvin goes, good story, huh? Kasi these guys, I think they can't beat me. When they see you, they know you're with me. They call this.
Extract their revenge on.
They bring out their frustration on you. Before I'd be sitting down there waiting for the class, and these guys would be sitting. So where are you from? I go, I'm from the Philippines. Oh really? I go, so there's jiu-jitsu there. I heard they have huts there. So no, we have cities and everything. So is your instructor? They always ask me, is your instructor any good? I said, well, yeah, he is. I go like that. So what do you call that? So parang eventually they know who he is. But eventually they, every time I start with them, they're not smiling anymore when I see them the next after the class.
From there, so how long was the camp or how long did you guys train in Torrance?
There's no camp. We just went there to train.
Uh-huh.
So we just go there for a regular class.
Okay.
It's not like kasi like like it's not like Saulo na they have for Mundial they have a Mundial training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have comp training. In Kalahoy's at that time wala eh.
So training lang talaga. Okay.
It's like a regular class.
Okay.
It's a regular class, and then we just train there, and then from the beginning they go, oh, let them start at the beginners class. So they let me start at the beginners class, and then they go, oh, you're too good, you know a lot already. Okay, why don't you move to the intermediate class? So okay, I tried the intermediate. Then after, oh, you're pretty good. Then Alvin goes, sama mo na ako dito sa advanced. So wala ako kasama here, ganyan. So at least I'll deal with you na lang. Sige. Pichon, I went to the advanced class with Alvin. Wow. 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 200 pounds. There's even one guy, a partner there was like 7 foot.
Okay.
7 foot guy. I'll never forget that guy. He was like 7 feet. So we had a drill.
Yeah.
One hand. You know the drill na? One hand in the belt, right?
Yeah. Guard retention.
One hand in the belt. Yeah. What he did, literally just grabbed my gi and just one hand sat on top of me, just sat on top of me and just, you know what I mean? Smothered me and then choked me with one hand.
Okay. Grabe, ang laki naman nun.
Oh, grabe.
Like when you go 7 foot guy, even 6'4" and above guys, I mean that's no mark.
At that time I didn't lift weights. I was pretty scrawny compared to the guys there. And then I really got beat up. I was always beat up after a cold shower. Oh God, so painful. Like my bones were popping when I go into the shower. Oh,
and
I would really beat them up.
And then from there, I don't know. Let's go to Detroit. Like what happened there?
Well, actually, Alvin was doing really well. Alvin tapped everybody really fast.
Okay.
The problem with Detroit was we weren't familiar. We weren't used to the weather.
Yes.
We weren't. The weather at the time was hot. The time we were there, it's dry heat.
Yep.
So it's not like here where it's very humid, so you'd sweat. You know what I mean? There, wala.
Yeah.
It'd be super hot, and you won't sweat. And sometimes, during Alvin, I think the final match, that's so exhausted na. Then he just made one mistake and he got caught. That's it.
Yeah.
But he was bulldozing to the guy. The difference lang, I think, I learned also there when I was training there in the States, and they always emphasized a lot, was you always have to relax. Because when we were training, of course, in here in the Philippines, we were always high intensity.
Yep. Ratratan kagad. Yeah.
Ratratan kasi even sa Riansal is speed.
Yes.
Kasi you have to get out. You can't stay there and take your time.
Yep.
So that was also our mentality kasi based on the street fight aspect. But when you got to Jiu-Jitsu, it's a different story, especially when you start doing the formal training, and when we got there, parang voice was telling us, relax, my friend. Using too much energy, using too much energy, Okay. So when we were training there, we were always going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always going high intensity. We end up burning ourselves out a lot of times, especially me. I had to go fast. I mean, I didn't know how to relax. So I went through everybody really easily. And then near the last, on the final na, he got tired. Kasi nga, the weather there was, wow, it was dry. And and I was very intense kasi he'd make everybody sagasa. It beat everybody like that. Fast, arm bar. You know what I mean? Tapos kagad. And then near the end, this guy was was a bit more technical. It took him a while, and then although he still got points on the guy, he had a high margin points. He eventually got tired and wala, dun siya nahuli.
Okay.
Ako rin, I got to the semis. Ganun din, I beat the guy. I even beat the son the time is a son of Kaike.
Okay.
Kaike Elias. He had a young son at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And I remember Volker was telling me na you know what I mean? Come on, hurry. So I'm like, okay. And then eventually
Okay.
when I got the kid's arm, I really popped it really bad. And I go, oh,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay, I'm done.
I went up there, I'm done. So I got
Naalala ko
him.
tuloy, dati pwede pa mag-trash talk sa tournaments eh. Ngayon, hindi na
Oh,
pwede.
hindi na pwede. Like, I'm done. Oh, I'm done. Oh. So then he was holding his arm. I remember Kaike picking him up, talking to him, put him on his shoulders, carrying him out of the mat.
Diba? And from there, so you guys went back and then training continued. Let's fast forward a bit. Okay, I have to the initial URCC. Like,
Okay.
who brought? Like, how was the idea of having the first MMA event in the Philippines brought up to you? And how did you
Well,
end
kasi,
up cornering the fighters?
well, back in the day kasi, eventually, sila Richard came a little later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, later on na sila Richard, sila Joey. First, kasi of course, it was me and sila Miko.
Yeah.
It got to the point na nga and it was just me showing up in training.
Mm.
Then Blanco, I was also teaching classes in LaSalle.
Mm-hmm.
The Jiu-Jitsu classes.
Yes,
People that
yes.
show up. So it's during the university break.
Yep.
Yeah, and then later on, at the time, Blanco eventually took over the classes.
Yep.
And then he was telling us, oh, there are these guys, Joey and his brother. Said, wow, they're really good. They're kicking. At the time, he was telling me that he was giving him a hard time.
Hard time.
So yeah. So Adi goes, oh, why don't you take him here? Bring him here. Time to come here. So yun. So yeah, and then Carlo invited them. So it was, at the time it was Joey, Jerome, and then they brought Richard.
Yeah.
They had their own parang style of jiu-jitsu. They learned it from another.
Parang no, it was a Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah. But kasi what made them unique is, of course, they already had backgrounds with the submissions more or less. Mm-hmm. So when I went with Joey, it wasn't easy to catch.
Yeah.
In the beginning, wow, he was the thing that Carlo would always tell us, they are super strong.
Yeah.
They are super strong. So like, really? So like when I rolled with Joey, wow. Grabe, lakas ni Joey. Lakas. It took me a while to you know what I mean, to even get an edge on him. Because he knew a lot already. And what's worse, when Alvin you know, I mean, corrected certain techniques, updated him and all that. Wow. It was crazy. And eventually we had this crazy thing na, man, I'm not gonna tap with this guy. You know what I mean? At the time we still had that mentality oh, hindi ako papatalo dito. Wow. And him and Jerome actually put me to sleep.
Yeah.
There were several times that
they're long. They're long and strong.
This Joey's submission, even until now, is a triangle.
Yes.
He'd always catch me. Joey's strong. It was explosive.
Yep.
Caught me. And it was always just my pride.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to tap them. So almost 80% of the time, they put me to sleep. They put me to sleep. So I literally just, you know, I mean, I see Adam's face. You didn't tap again, fuckhead. You know what I mean? You go like that. Idiot. You tap. No, I don't do that. For a while, it was like, we had like that parang, like that inner competition among us.
Yeah.
But later on, as I got to know Joey, Jerome, and Richard, we got really close.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we started. And then Richard and Joey eventually went also to the US. We went together. Joey won gold in his weight class, and then gold in absolute.
Yep.
Then Richard also won in his weight class.
Yep.
And at that time was what was nice about it is if you win like Joey and Richard won gold in their spots. They were promoted on the spot.
Oh,
And
okay.
at the podium, Corian brought the belt, promoted them to blue belt right there. Me,
Mm-hmm.
me pa, siguro I lost on the competition. Then we had like one last training session there at Voices Academy. I was so sad. And then I was gonna go home and then Voice goes, wait, don't go, wait lang. I have to talk to you for a while. Okay.
Mm.
I was all dressed na, so sad. And then then he went up to me and goes, I like how you performed in the tournament. You had a
Mm.
lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and he promoted me to blue belt there
Nice.
in his office. So
Uh-huh.
ganun yung how I got my blue belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joey talagang, wow, they really went, alam mo yun, Joey smoked through everybody and Joey
Mm-hmm.
stopped everybody out. Triangle armbar.
Triangle armbar. Classic.
Triangle,
Hanggang ngayon.
triangle
Hanggang ngayon.
classic. Hanggang ngayon. He always catches the biglaan and
Yep.
he went against really big guys.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were big.
And then from the promotions, and then I think what you're laying down the foundation for is like everyone went through the training, and then everyone started banding together, and then now
Yes.
it's Alvin, you, Richard, Prof. Joey. Apat na kayong blue belts nun. Paano
And
ba
Fritz.
Fritz?
See
Okay.
Fritz, yeah. At that time, Fritz was with another team at that time.
Okay.
So, although we knew already Fritz kasi when we were starting Alvin's, the early days,
Mm-hmm.
Alvin had a friend there.
Oh.
Then, I mean, you know that at that time they were friends. So he was also training with Alvin, and he had sessions with Alvin, and he pitched the idea that he wanted to form his own martial arts club.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know the PL, you know what I mean? Okay. So he pitched that. So actually, the initial when that was, it sounds like a good idea because in the beginning it sounded. It was like a good. It sounded good. Like you wanted to farm. You wanted to make
Yeah.
own martial arts club, and it was up in the north. So Alvin would help even promote they would even have demos.
Yeah.
Me, Miko would do would help them do demos there.
Mm.
Then later on, it changed.
Mm.
And then
That's
part
true.
of
Yeah.
part of his part of the group before was Fritz.
Mm-hmm.
I think when the direction started to change, I guess also Fritz also noticed that it wasn't what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from being a martial arts club, it became more of almost like a gang na. Every now and then they had fights here, they had fights there, and then nowadays it got to the point that if you're part of the group, people would be after you even though you didn't do anything. But I mean, but the problem with them is they made themselves very, very notorious.
Yeah.
And I remember Fritz eventually leaving them and joining us.
Mm-hmm.
So he became part of our core group.
Diba? And then the initial team pa nun, diba? Ano ba yun? Team Raw Fury pa nun.
Raw Fury, yes. Yes. So actually we owe Fritz also a lot in our jiu-jitsu journey. Because si Fritz kasi is very what do you call that? PRC Fritz. PRC Fritz. So Fritz was very connected also in the Brazilian community in the US. Although like we knew Hoyce, Fritz also knew the other guys from the other side of the family.
Okay.
So he got very close. He was very close to Kazeka. Because initially when the PL guys were also starting, he also got Kazeka there to help them train. But the problem with those guys, they did something wrong, and their relationship with Kazeka fizzled. But Fritz maintained that. He maintained his friendship. They still remain friends. So when Fritz joined us, and then he was part of our team, eventually we wanted to become more competitive. We eventually from beginning association, we want to say, oh, we're doing well. Why don't we try the world championship in Brazil?
Mm.
And at the time, Poise left the
Uh-uh.
Grace Academy. He
Yep.
went on his own.
Yeah.
And the thing is, kasi, although we call that, although Warren was a good instructor,
Mm.
we didn't like the way he did things. Kasi
Okay.
parang compared to they call this to Hoy. Parang Hoy was more businessman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Hoy is
Parang
more
I
martial
think that's
artist.
the most predominant na observation kay Horion eh. Diba?
Yes.
Was such a businessman.
Businessman, yes, exactly. He's the businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Hoy kasi was the guy that was the fighter.
Yeah.
And actually, before when in the Grace Academy, there were three main instructors there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the beginning, it was mostly Hoy's, Kaike, and Horion.
Okay.
But eventually, Horion wouldn't be teaching as much anymore. If you got him for more, he'll do a private, you know what I mean? So most of the classes were either handled by Hoy's and Kaike.
Mm.
And then, of course, if you want, sometimes Helio would be there, but if you got him, it's also privates then.
Yeah.
With Helio, and they charge like a
Siyempre.
But I noticed lang kasi there was already a big difference already among them.
Mm-hmm.
Even from there palang, parang they did share parang Horion's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed. Sorry if I backtrack a little bit from the URCC.
No, it's fine. Teka lang. Ano natin eh? Mas interesado ako dito. We all went to Brazil.
Yeah. So before that kasi, yun nga. So there was napansin kasi namin was they didn't share the same opinions as Horion. Horion kasi tried to dictate over them, more or less, the way I saw it. Kasi if you train in the regular evening classes and the late afternoon classes, it's mostly Hoy's.
Okay.
When you do in the Grace Academy, if you train in the morning classes,
okay,
it would be Kaike.
Okay.
So one time kasi is I stayed with my aunt, and she only dropped me off during the morning classes. My uncle had work in town, and then he'd drop me off there, and then when he was done with what he had to do in town, then he'd pick me up after. Perfect. So I almost make it to Kaike's classes. What I noticed when I started training in Kaike's classes, the techniques he was showing was different from the techniques that they were showing on the afternoon classes. They're really different. Really different. So, kasi I know from the Grace Academy when I trained there, whether you train basic, intermediate, advanced, the techniques are all the same.
Yeah.
The difference lang was your training partners, the skill levels, and then of course the size.
Yes.
So when you train in the beginners class, of course they're all beginners, and most of the time we weren't as big. Even though they're big, they weren't as skilled, so it didn't matter.
Yes.
When you go to intermediate, it's the same. They'd still be, parang they'd always pair you up with a smaller guy, or they'd be more careful. But when you got to the advanced classes,
free for all na.
Free for all, and you had nobody to choose. Everybody was huge.
Okay.
They're all big, so ganun. So at the time, Taika was still an instructor there, so I joined several of his classes. But I noticed like he'd look outside the class room, and then you'd see if Hoyce or Horion was there.
Or Horion was there. Okay.
Confused siya. He started showing different techniques.
Okay.
So pag Horion's there, you'd show kasi self-defense. Pag wala si Horion, show more competition-based. You know what I mean? More different.
Like more of his style.
Not show self-defense. Yeah, his style. Yun. And there are times that he'd be teaching, and he'd start stuff with Horion. Sometimes they'd be also preoccupied. They forget I'm the new guy in the class. And then sometimes they don't realize that. Or they will just look at me and then don't tell Horion. Actually why are you in this class? I go, why are you in this class anyway? I'm like, this is the only class I can attend to during these days. Okay, you better not tell Voice or Horion. You know what we're doing here, what we're teaching here. But no, it's okay. And he'd always call he always loved Alvin. CK always loved Alvin. He always loved the way Alvin trained, because Alvin's always intensive.
Yep.
Killer, killer, Filipino killer. We were like, yeah, ganun siya. Later on, due to those differences, he eventually left.
Yes.
And then later on, then Moise left. So when we were preparing, when we want to compete in Brazil, parang we didn't want to train also in the Grace Academy because we didn't want to be left with Orion.
Okay.
So parang yun nga, kasi he was more of a businessman, and everybody always was saying that, you know, he
I
already had
think
a bad
parang
reputation.
nagiging common ano na to eh. Like, not a lot of people like Horion.
Yeah. He was kasi always like a, di ko this na eh. Parang so business oriented. He wasn't so, di ko
He wasn't taking care of the students. He wasn't taking care of
he was I mean, he handled the class, but he teach very well. I attend 1 or 2 classes that he stepped in and he taught. But yun nga lang is the way he is. He's like a, alam mo yun, parang businessman na.
He's a walking infomercial.
Like, yeah, yes, parang ganon. So when Hoyce left, we decided that, okay, we go with Hoyce.
Okay.
We go, oh, Hoyce, we like to compete in Brazil. So can you help us? Can you give us some? Because, just practice positions and make sure to put points in on all the positions. We're like,
okay.
How are we going to
do that?
To do that now? We were like, okay. And the problem is that we also got, we were trying to compete at the 2002 Worlds. And then we got actually Hoyce the year before. But the problem is it was very expensive to bring Hoyce. It charged like $5,000. And he was only there for like about a week.
Okay.
So like, you know what I mean? Just for us to prepare, wow, so expensive. And you know, you can fly him with $5,000. We're gonna get $5,000.
Oh, I get that.
You know what I mean? At the time, it took us a while to even get that money. The first time we brought him, and at the end of the day, we had to shell out from our pockets also just to make everything work.
Yep.
So so what we did was Fritz suggested, I spoke to Gazeka. He's willing to help us prepare. So we got Gazeka, and then I think the only thing that Gazeka asked from us was we represent Gracie Baja when we compete.
Okay. So
that
was
one of his Gracie Baja. Gracie Baja. Yeah. That's one of the things that he requested. Okay, I'll train you guys, but you guys don't carry Gracie Academy. You guys carry Gracie Baja. I'm like, okay, sure. So I started training us. He showed us, you know, I mean, we started to incorporate a lot of things. This, of course, with the Gracie Academy, the style and the self-defense. So everything was very basic from the Gracie Academy. Then, of course, Gazeka showed us more sport-oriented techniques. Because when I trained also here, I trained in the Gracie Academy, there'd be some guys from different academies who go there to train. Okay. So I noticed in the Gracie Academy, it's only close guard.
Yes.
There was no spider guard. There was no butterfly. None. Just close guard. Anything, if ever any open guard, very, very, very basic. Not like that. So Gazeka improved our game in that. Showed us all the sport techniques, and his preparation was different. We really prepared us. I think that's where we really learned to really prepare. We got a lot of the ideas from him, the concepts from him, how to prepare. Of course, he'd always look at us. Oh, you compete at this weight. This is perfect for you. So you have to maintain that weight. And then we trained really hard. So with him, everything was structured. So we wake up early in the morning. Wake up at about 5:30 in the morning. We go to Rizal. We do sprints.
Okay.
We do different calisthenics on the steps.
Yeah.
And everything. And then by 9 o'clock, we go to the wrestling class. Because Gazeka was a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a wrestler. So he believed that wrestling was very important for Jiu-Jitsu. Back in the day, of course, not a lot of people used to use wrestling.
Yes.
So for him, it was very important, especially to develop a good balance for your top game.
Mm-hmm.
And then proper pacing and all that was good. Because wrestling was very good cardio, very good conditioning. So we did that. We wrestled with the national team. That's where also Marcos came in and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So we trained with Marcos. Marcos eventually also joined us later on.
Yep.
So we were training with him, with the national team, and then in the evening we'd have our we do our conditioning.
Oo. Parang
Weights, we
Kazeka
do
nga rin.
weights.
Kahit si
Yeah.
Richard, sabi niya, Kazeka put structure into the training daw.
Training, yes. So we have conditioning mga siguro afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then the evening, we do drills, specific drills, positions, techniques, and then later on in the evening, we have spars now with the regular class.
Wala na. So that structure alone, pagdating yun nung, how did that turn out? Oo, tulog ka na. So how did that turn out when you guys went to...
It was good. When I went to Brazil, wow, it's pretty well. Because at the time it's competition season, so
yeah,
we trained in Gracie Baja, the Gracie Baja headquarters.
Okay.
So when you go there during Mundial season, well, everybody was there.
Yep.
Everybody was there. Different guys from different countries. I got to roll with guys from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I got to roll with guys from the US. I got to roll from guys from France.
Okay.
From Netherlands. Dami. Mm-hmm. So when you do a training session with them there, so many guys. So everybody would always ask, especially with the way Alvin and because they would ask us, are you guys Brazilian? No, I'm from the Philippines. Wow, you guys move so well. I mean, you guys get it, you know what I mean? Because I noticed with at the time, American Jiu-Jitsu was still catching up.
Yep.
Even European Jiu-Jitsu. Mm-hmm. So most of the guys there were big that came.
Yes.
And then, but they weren't as technical.
Torrent, titirahin ka na.
They weren't as technical. They weren't as technical. Parang they're mostly strong. So what they do most of the time, some of them is when they get something on you, they hold you down.
And then they'll force you. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The guys that were, they'll force, they'll use a lot of power. And they were very stiff. So most of the time, I'd get to sweep them. The guys that were of course, the ones that really gave me a good run talaga, they were the Brazilians. Mm-hmm. I really had good roles with the Brazilians. The Europeans lang and the Americans at that time were just big, very big and very strong.
Yeah, so now, like, you went to Brazil. Apparently, there are other countries that went there as well, and then they all competed. Then,
yes.
Okay. And then from there, you took
you
took all that experience home.
Yes. Because at the time before, when we were training at Grace Academy, no matter what class I attended, I was hoping like I attend the intermediate class. Because you're allowed to want to jump into classes, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I just paid for the unlimited class. I can go at any time.
Yes.
So whatever schedule that my aunt could take me or my uncle could take me, I would go to that class. So sometimes I take the intermediate or I take the advanced. So I was hoping na lang na whatever class I was hoping that I would take something new. But the thing is, every time I attended the let's say the intermediate class, it's the same. Even though I attended the advanced,
parang labo nun ah.
Labo. Yun nga lang, pansin ko lang talaga. It was
kahit ako, parang mainis siguro ako nun. I'm like, go here. It's supposed to be the advanced class. Like, what the hell?
Why am I still learning how to defend against the headlock? You know what I mean?
Diba? Weird. I learned that structure nila yun eh.
Yeah. And their structure kasi is maybe 2 or 3 techniques for the week.
Okay.
Sa Grace Academy. So at that time, they weren't very generous with the techniques. So 2 techniques a week, no matter what
skill level you're in.
What skill level you're in, whatever class you entered, it's the same. So parang battle to battle. So whatever we learned at the time, we take it home to the Philippines, and that's how we do. We just train it, we drilled it for a week, here. And when we trained out Kazakh, he opened their eyes, he showed us so many techniques. And then, and Gracie Bagan and then, they had the class in the morning, they had class in the afternoon. But it's most of the class at the time was either handled by Faye Tosa and another black belt.
Wow,
But
si
sometimes
Faye
when you
Tosa. Okay.
okay, but when you join the class in the afternoon and in the evening or the late evening, it's different. The
It's
techniques are different.
different. Mm-hmm.
It's different. So you really picked up a lot when you were there. And then, of course, your drilling partners are different from a different country. The way they place also different. Now, like the Grace Academy, they all Coast Guard. The only time you'll only know na this guy is from a different from Grace Academy is also may open guard. Next thing you know, may deep half. Ganun ko naman laman kasi sometimes also they come into the they have a different patch.
Okay.
Yan sa Grace Academy ganun. There's even at one point I went with sila Alvin. We checked out different academies. Sometimes pa nga the
so you
guys
check
in the
different
Grace Academy,
schools in Brazil. Tama ba?
in Brazil, in Brazil, no. We only trained in
Gracie Baha.
Kasi
Okay.
our apartment was walking distance from the main.
Okay.
But I mean, when we were in the US, we got to go around when I was with Alvin.
Okay.
We just checked out. We never had the chance to train, but we checked out their classes. And some of the guys are like, oh, galing na to ha. But may ganun. Pala, some of the guys that are training in the Grace Academy would go to, let's say, Machado.
Okay.
With Machado.
To train there and learn something else.
Something else.
Uh-huh.
But they, you know what I mean? Ganon sila doon, ganon yung style. And then I go, what are you doing? Don't tell Hoist that I'm here. Don't tell you.
Diba?
Ganon sila doon. Yeah, but in Brazil, wow, the jiu-jitsu there was crazy. Very, I mean, different, yeah.
And then from there, so, coming back home, eventually everyone still trained. And then, yun nga, Alvin decided, did he tell you? Did he tell you na he was gonna do the first ever MMA event in the country?
Yeah. We had to eventually, it was me and Alvin who became eventually the only guys that were training at the time, and then Joey and the rest of the guys came in, and then so we were the ones that we were like, let's bring jiu-jitsu here. I think people should really learn about this art. So it was our dream to bring it here.
Okay.
So you know what I mean. So one of the best ways is to introduce it to mixed martial arts. So at that time, even though we tried teaching, like I said, when we got to the ground, where people were very light grappling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even a lot of people didn't like the
idea
of going to the ground and being you know what I mean, being
smothered and
smothered. Yeah. So they didn't like it. So sometimes certain situations they were doing well in the beginning, but eventually one situation that they got smothered. The next day they didn't show up anymore. Get on. So yun, we were yeah. Alvin said, oh, let's because so who can fight? Who will be called that? So I don't know how we decided, but I think we voted that Richard would do it. At the time, I don't know, but Richard was also a tough guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when we do our spars, he would spar with Alvin, and well, Alvin would hit him hard.
Yeah, and he would. Siya yung nakita ko kahit nung mga camps na kasama na ako, sapakin talaga siya. He'll go down, pero he'll go back up. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the type of guy na he would, you know what I mean? He wouldn't.
And Alvin hits hard, Alvin hits hard, yeah.
I can attest to that. I was Alvin's training partner for a number of years. I got used and abused. He really hits hard, and Richard could really take a punch.
Yep.
And then at the time, Richard was also doing a lot also of his wrestling. Started developing his wrestling and all that. So we decided, okay, Richard, let's put Richard. And Richard, because he was also at the time was also the smaller guy.
Yeah.
So this is how we arranged it. So Alvin, of course, came up with the training, what we were supposed to do, the structure of the training. So I was the guy to enforce it.
Mm-hmm.
So even the coach, kasi at the time since he was handling the promotion, he couldn't be the coach.
Yeah.
Kasi parang it'll be like conflict with us, or they might say na it's luto. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? How can because so I ended up being the coach. And simply I was the more senior and I had better understanding of the techniques at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up because Alvin would just give me the instruction. Okay, so today we'll be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So we drill these particular. Say today is striking. Do the striking, hit the mitts. You say the time. Then okay, after that you do ground techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Practice this technique, and after a while combine. Let's say striking from the ground, defense against striking from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Then drill the situation. So that's how we did it for that.
Was
So
this the
we also
first?
did it.
Was this your first time cornering as well?
Well, we did kasi some underground fights then.
Yeah, yun that. So ginagawa mo na rin
Yeah.
pala siya before.
Yeah,
Okay.
before. I had a chance to do 1 or 2 underground fights before.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, since I was always the senior next to Alvin, I'd be the one, you know what I mean, giving the instruction.
The instruction.
Yeah, so like what happened later on, Al would give me the training, what training need to be done, and I was the one to make sure that everybody followed the training and stuck to the training.
Yeah.
So what we did was also before was our training got more structured.
Mm-hmm.
Is although we learned Sarian is a very effective martial art. You cannot use it for the ring.
Yep.
It is not a ring. It's not a ring based system.
Yep.
It's a system for you to survive a fight. So if you were to stay there and stick with the guy, it's not going to eventually work.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is to get in, get out, survive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not there now. You ring now. You're gonna fight with a guy who knows kickboxing. Take shots to your neck, take shots to your body. It's not for that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna take multiple opponents, you have to whenever you're cornered, Sarian is perfect. The kickboxing will because but the mindset that it helps you, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
The mindset is totally different. So we really literally got specialists that got to eventually improve on our striking and on our wrestling. I remember we had 2 boxers, of course, Gary Garay.
Yeah.
Yes. So at that time na kasi Chris Luna was also part of our team. Chris Luna was a very good boxer.
Yeah.
So Chris Luna got his boxing instructor, and he was initially doing the training.
Yep.
What we did eventually, kasi like us, eventually we started doing other things. We couldn't focus na talagang, at the time MMA naman was still starting, and we started also doing our careers. None of us could really focus.
Yeah. So
what we did was we needed guys to be our in-house fighters. So we would train them, and they would represent the team. So here he suggested 2 boxers, Gary Garay, and then another guy. So at the same time, we would train them, and then eventually they'd also fight for us, represent us. At the same time, also they'd also help us with our striking.
Striking, yeah.
Yes. So we got them, and then at the time, our wrestling was Coach Puesto. He was an old man. He used to do part. There used to come up with Itbulaga. So we used to have this game, part of the game show where I don't know if it's like a wrestling or something. What's to?
Kasi yung arm wrestling, yung bunong braso. Okay.
Bunong braso. He was a wrestling coach.
Okay.
So initially we got him also as a wrestling coach.
Okay.
And then of course, he was also our in-house. We got him to teach us wrestling. And then of course Marcos was there also to lend a hand. We also got some wrestling instructors, and that's how we eventually started really.
Parang ano siya, parang even without like having an MMA camp, this was like the same because you had guys who were proficient in boxing. You compartmentalized.
Kasi we really need talaga. We realized na you know what I mean. You can't. You know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't fight with just with that system. You have to be more because you have to know how to maneuver the ring. You have to
Mm-hmm.
know how to, you know what I mean. Siyempre, based on, of course, the fights in the UFC, based
Mm-hmm.
on other fights that we saw also in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of Judo.
Mm-hmm.
We also had to learn how to maneuver from being, you know what I mean, maneuver. So we were using a ring,
Yeah.
so we had to drill how to maneuver around the ring.
Mm-hmm. Diba? And then ito, I already we're probably I'm gonna have Pichon over for ang tawag dito, breaking down certain things about coaching in a different episode. But for this one, how was the atmosphere? Like as far as you can remember, how was the atmosphere going through the first URCC event?
Oh,
And
it was
then
crazy. It was crazy.
and
Uh,
then you had to corner Richard,
yes,
diba? You had to
Richard.
corner the
So,
DefTap guys who were gonna
guys,
fight that night.
yeah. So, of course, we already had the game plan,
Mm-hmm.
what we had to do. Of course, my job was to make sure that he followed the game plan, and
Mm-hmm.
my job also was to make sure to troubleshoot for him when it got to the ground.
Mm. And then from like ano siya, tawag dito, ako, eh, all I could remember was people telling how crazy that night was,
Oh,
and
it was crazy! Wow, it was. I mean, you know, people screaming. You could hear. I mean, you know,
si Alvin
hear
nga sabi niya
everywhere.
he never really thought that a lot of people would show up. Like he
Yeah,
was parang sabi niya
it
hindi
was
raw niya
wild.
alam ganun karami yung darating.
It was wild. And luckily, when I was there, Fitz also coached with me. He helped me
Mhm.
out also in the coaching with
Okay.
Richard.
And then
So
from
yun,
there, sige, go. First
yun,
URCC
and
fight.
it was crazy. Parang it was so loud in your. I really we had to really I had to scream really loud because
Mhm.
sometimes you couldn't hear me. And then what's nice
Mhm.
also kasi is at least what was nice is we also learned that the fact that you really if you're gonna be the one to coach him, you have to also be able to train with him
Uh-huh.
because he has to learn to this, you know what I
Like
mean, discern your
isolate your
voice,
voice, yeah, from the
voice,
crowd.
yes, from the crowd. If he's never had a chance to train with you, and then you know he's never heard your voice before, he won't know if you're him or you're part of you're the coach of the other group telling him, you know, wrong information.
And then from there, how was it? I mean, what was the thought process when Gary
I just I
won?
was
Gary won, and then Richard won, and
it
then
was crazy, but it was really crazy. Of course, we were happy. Na our team eventually got known.
mhm.
You know what I mean? That we won and all that. But you know, I don't know. We were just very excited. So after that, what did we do? Usual. We won. Get a beer.
Gonna be.
Get a beer. Get a beer.
Diba?
You know what
Kasi,
I mean? And then practice again the week after.
oh, see, at least people will get, like, especially future jiu-jitsu competitors or MMA fighters will get to know that's very simple information na kasi kahit si Richard even Alvin and now I see it with other people who train with us and our students na parang sabi na I thought when you win you'll celebrate for quite some time and then you decide if you want to go back to training, pero what they saw in the culture was people celebrated for like over the weekend and then everyone went
And then
back to
after one,
training after.
yeah, after train again, then drills again.
Diba? So at
It
least
I guess the challenging talaga for me, being a coach, being who's dealing with different personalities.
mm-hmm.
Kasi I remember before when Gary Garay started training with us, he was a very good boxer. He was very
Mm-hmm.
proud of his boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is with him, I always had to be show him. He had to always learn everything the hard way.
Yeah.
I remember like kunwari, we had to do guard drill.
mm-hmm.
So the guy was supposed to strike within the guard. You're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to defend against the guard.
Yeah.
And next you know, everybody was doing the drills. Everybody followed, and then next you know, what's happening here on the other side? You know, I hear him swearing. And then,
Okay.
and then, oh no, ito, sasapak ako sa mukha eh. Sabi ko,
Yun yung
yun ang drill. Eh, masakit. Huwag mo kang papatama sa mukha. Kasi he was telling, he was making muna na, tayo, sapakin mo ako, sasaksakin kita dyan sa labas. like that, kaya, upakan kita. I'm like, you know, I mean, Gary, wag ganyan. Ganun talaga yun ang drill. Then, you know what I mean? Then, if I don't pa ganyan, ina-knockout ko lang yan.
Okay.
Almost like that. And then I go, see, actually in between training sessions, sometimes he'd actually challenge me. Seriously. You can even ask Guy to this day. He didn't believe because it didn't affect his jiu-jitsu. He trained.
Yeah, he did. Diba?
So, there's even one point na wala yan. Jab ko lang yan, straight ko lang yan. Yan.
Diba?
So yun. So imagine it was really crazy. So one time he tried to literally stop the training. Okay, said try it. I had to decall that to take him down.
Yeah.
And when I mounted him, he tried to punch. I just ducked the punches.
Yep.
When I got the armbar, he even tried to do the Bruce Lee counter.
The one in the movie.
He tried to bite my leg.
Yeah.
He bit my leg.
God.
So I bit my leg, and I literally popped his arm. So it took a while. I mean, dealing with personality like that, those are challenges. Because parang everybody was into it, and then we had this guy that didn't want to follow because he didn't believe in the
That is true. Diba?
So for a while he was resistant until he got to, I think, one, I'm not sure what URCC it was, but he dealt with a guy na good striking. He had the guy eventually prepared for him, and then eventually in the end he actually finished the guy with
an armbar ata.
With an armbar, yeah.
With an armbar.
Sabi niya, Pitch, buti nakinig na talaga ako sa'yo.
Diba?
Like that. Oh wow, it was crazy. I mean, it was fun. I mean, he was a very good striker. But yun nga lang kasi he was so proud of what he learned. It was so hard for him to digest.
Accept,
and then sometimes accept it. Yes. But it took a while. So parang even during class when we had to do drills, he didn't like to listen because he didn't believe in it. He didn't believe in the things. He always felt that boxing had the answer to it.
Yes.
It was really crazy. If you were there, and you go, so what? What ang gagawin mo? Uppercut lang yan. Sige, okay, let's go. Go around. And okay, finish. Okay, finish na ha. Balik na tayo, okay? Drill ulit tayo, ha? Sige, yan ang instruction yan ang kailangan natin gawin.
Diba? Sige.
Yeah.
Pitch, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for doing this.
Sure.
Pitch, where can people find you? Your social media, please tell people where they can reach you.
For my usual, you can check me out on my Facebook, Pichon Garcia. Of course, for Instagram, it's Pichon Garcia also. And then if you want to check for my Jiu-Jitsu Instagram for Pichon BJJ. And then, well, we didn't discuss this here, but if you like action figures and all that, I have another page for that.
Yes. Sige,
so that's,
go do them here. And
Pichon,
then I asked
Pichon,
Pichon,
the toy collector.
Yes. Diba? I asked Pichon we're gonna do an episode about toy collection and how he does it, how long he's been doing it. But at least for this one, we got a glimpse of the history behind the training, the process. There's so many insights that we could all learn from this, and for sure, this is just the first of many episodes that I have with Professor Pichon.
Sayang nga, we have so many. Our team has so much history.
Yes, that's why I wanted to do this yung digestible episodes para I mean this one is good. I mean this one's really I love the stuff that you talked about in this episode kasi it's gonna be a good jump off point to the next one, and probably until we have a better understanding of the history and the stories behind not just DefTac but Philippine martial arts.
Yeah.
Diba? So, Pitch, thank you so much for doing this.
No
Appreciate
problem.
this. Okay, and with that, that's what Coach Franco says. Bye-bye.
Coach Franco Says would like to thank the following sponsors for making this episode possible.
The best quality gear for your jiu-jitsu training. Get your stuff from Knots and Crosses. Place your orders now on their Facebook and Instagram pages. For delicious, locally sourced beans for your daily brew. Get your fix with the One Coffee. Order now on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Spelled AWON Coffee. Gatorade. Because nothing beats Gatorade. Train with me in the following DefTac Jiu-Jitsu chapters. DefTac Rockwall, DefTac Makati, and DefTac Better Living. Book your classes on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Read news about the local martial arts scene here in the Philippines, visit Local MMA on Facebook, and listen to one of my favorite podcasts, Destroy MNL. The insights and lessons people share in my channel are inspirational, motivational, and life-changing. They have to be shared to help others achieve their dreams. My life is about providing value and helping others achieve their goals. Please help me make more podcast episodes, video tutorials, and educational content that will benefit everybody. Support this channel by clicking the link in the description box. Thank you for your support, and I will keep making content that matters. That's it, everyone. See you in the next episode. Thank you for listening.